Hey everybody, this is Steve from TwoLikeableGuys, and it's time for our first ever giveaway contest. What a great prize package we have for you. We have a Larry Fleet Stack of Records CD, a couple of picks that were played by our very special friend and bass player for Larry Fleet, Eric Harley-Brown. A special edition, not for sale, Two Likeable Guys t-shirt, Crazy Legs edition, and the set list autographed by Mr. Larry Fleet, Xander Wyatt, and our friend Crazy Legs, Eric Harley-Brown. To enter, just go to our Facebook page, like the post, tag a friend, and share the page. That's all you got to do. If you do these four things, you are entered to win
Crazy Legs crazy gift pack.
The last day to enter is May 31st, and we will be drawing the winner shortly thereafter.
Man, do we have a great show for you today. We are Two Likeable Guys. This is the Two Likeable Guys podcast. And first off, you doing all right today, Josh?
Doing great, brother. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I would tell you a joke, but I saved the joke and we talk about it when we get in here. And just leave that there as little Luke humor for everybody.
Little Lukester story.
Yeah, so that's going to be our joke of the day. Little funny story to go along with. But today we have an awesome, one of the more accomplished guests. We've had many accomplished guests. Today we have the bass player for Larry Fleet, and they're currently out on tour with little headlining guy. I don't remember his name. Morgan something. What was that? He's the headliner of the tour, they say. I don't know that I've heard of him. Morgan, what was that?
Oh, Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen, yeah, it slipped my mind. I don't know. Just one of the huge touring artists, probably one of the biggest.
You really didn't know who Morgan Wallen was?
Yeah, I knew. I would just play it down because they have awesome opening acts. One being
that's it right there.
Larry Fleet. Man, Larry Fleet, Chattanooga based, lives in Chattanooga. He's not from around here, but the bass player for Larry Fleet, man, I've listened to some of their music. It's fantastic stuff. But let's get right into it with Mr. Eric Harley-Brown. We have a treat today. I am excited beyond words to describe. We have a rock star, for lack of a better term.
That's pretty generous term there, Steve.
I don't know. I mean, if
wait a minute, I thought he played country music.
I did too. Well, I do it all. I do both kinds, country and western.
There you go.
Well, we have a country star, country musician star. It's one and the only. And do you go by? I've always known you as Eric Brown, but it looks like you go by Eric Harley-Brown.
Well, the Harley thing is actually almost kind of a double last name. I actually found that out. I never knew my real grandfather, and found him a few years ago. And it turns out by blood, I'm actually a Harley. Brown is an adopted name. My father was legally adopted by his stepfather when he was about 3. So technically Brown is not my blood name. Harley is my blood name.
Wow. We're learning this stuff already. and the coolest thing, I feel like I'm living vicariously through Eric's Facebook and Instagram posts. He is the current touring awesome bassist for the one and only Larry Fleet, who is currently out on tour with the one and only Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Who else is with you guys on that tour? There's another band.
It is an artist named Hardy. who's a bit more rock. He's a bit more heavy, but all three of the artists are on the same record label, Big Loud Records, which has
Wow.
Morgan, Hardy, and Larry, and Jake Owen is on there, and there's several other great artists on there. So it's almost like a Big Loud carnival tour.
Sweet.
But it was pretty cool. I was talking to one of the production managers actually last night. We played in Oklahoma City last night, and he told me that no, I'm sorry, it was our booking agent flew out to come see the show, and he said this is the second biggest tour in the world right now, behind the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Oh,
Which is
yeah.
pretty
And
cool.
who wants to go see some old has-beens called the
Well,
Stones?
I'd like to
anyway?
if Mike can get me some tickets.
Yeah, if the tickets were affordable.
Well, I guess first off, I want to know, how long have you played with Larry Fleet?
I think we're probably coming up on about 6 or so years. It's actually really interesting. You know, I toured. I was touring in high school when I was playing in high school. So I actually started traveling when I was about 16 and toured for a long time, got into theatrical work and a lot of different stuff, and then retired to basically raise my son and moved back to Chattanooga to start a business with my father. So I was content. I was done with the music business, and it was probably about a decade or so later, you know, I got a call to come out and start doing some jazz work around town because there weren't a whole lot of upright bass players in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And so reluctantly, I kind of did it, you know, just for fun and get a little extra cash to buy some sheetrock and, you know, stucco to remodel my basement. And so got a call to come out and do this place called Sky Zoo out on Brainerd Road, if anybody knows about that place. And they would do
Yeah.
this little deal and have a band out there. And so a buddy of mine, Kobe Tao, hired me to come out there and play with him. And the lead singer didn't show up. So he said, well, I got this dude that just moved here to town. He said, he's got a great voice. Let me call him up. And so called him up, and it ended up being Larry. And so we both kind of just met subbing together on this little rock gig at this, you know, crummy little bar. And then just became fast friends after that, and then started, you know, writing together and kind of just thinking about music. And he had done the same thing. He toured and traveled. We both had record deals, and, you know, both partied way too hard and did a bunch of bad things. And we were content to be done with the music business. And then started writing with him and playing with him. And we just decided to have fun and not worry about the business side of it. And lo and behold, after we started doing that, it was about 2 months later, he met Jake Owen while he was doing a little solo acoustic gig. And then 3 months after that, we're out on the road with Willie Nelson and Alison Krauss.
Wow.
Holy moly.
So it happened really, really fast. So me and Larry, you know, had been friends and really hadn't had any ambition to come back into the music business. It actually just kind of brought us back into it. So he and I guess have been friends for, you know, about 6 years or so. But like I said, music was really kind of a side thought for us. I mean, we loved just getting out in the outdoors and just became really good friends. We get out and go ride mountain bikes and, you know, do whatnot and just had fun. And the music business sucked us right back in.
Well, the cool thing I saw that Larry Fleet had said was, he said that when he got to play at the Ryman, he said I got to go play at the Opry with my good buddy Eric. So
yeah,
I thought that was pretty nice of him. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. So
that was a pretty special moment. He and I have done a few shows that I've played the Ryman about 16 times. And then I did one with Larry there too. And then it was pretty cool. The Grand Ole Opry thing was pretty special because we did that with just me on upright. Larry played acoustic, and then Xander Wyatt, our guitar player, played dobro. So when you go to the Opry, it's kind of cool. They've got an amazing group of musicians that'll back you up. And we were the first people to decline that.
Wow.
And we decided to just actually go old school. We really wanted to do it the way it used to be done. And we just went out there with 3 acoustic instruments and played to a sold out crowd and got 2 standing ovations. And we only played 3 songs.
That's pretty darn cool.
And then it was kind of another intense factor is that we were being filmed the whole time by ABC. That they had a film crew that was following us around for about 2 days for this CMA special that aired right before the big award show. So
and you got to be on your voice at least got to be on part of that.
Yeah. Talking about changing my diaper.
Yes.
My wife was real proud of that. My national speaking debut was about me pooping my pants.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that comes on home. I have to tell a little story that happened yesterday. Is that me and my son Luke? I've got a 2 going on 3-year-old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm way too old to have a kid that young. So, but he's pretty awesome, and he climbs up and down me when I'm sitting in a chair, and he was climbing up me, and I had just we had some spicy food earlier, so I had passed some wind, and when he was climbing down, he said, "Dada, you need to change your diaper."
As we get older, that becomes more realistic, doesn't it?
Yes. And I was like, "All right, buddy." And I said, "No, I don't have diapers." He said, and then he's smart enough to he went, "Well, go take bath."
That's awesome.
But anyway, so you're married?
Yeah, I've been married for 24 years.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so I got married pretty young. I've got a 19-year-old son. And
wow.
So yeah, she toured with me and traveled with me for a while. And like I said, I basically had them on the road when I was actually doing upright bass work for like off-Broadway theatrical plays. That's how I ended up playing the Ryman so many times. I actually toured with this one production, and we did a 3-week residency up at the Ryman. So I was there for about 3 weeks, in and out of that place every day. And so, but anyway, yeah, so she toured with me and this and that and the other. And then that's just when I ended up kind of retiring, was when my son was born.
Yeah, we like to, one of the things we've always liked to do, is me and Josh as a show, is we like to talk to people from Red Bank that have done great things. The cool thing about you is that I believe we graduated from high school in Red Bank did you graduate in 91?
91, baby.
Yeah.
91.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
Year of the storm.
Oh, that was it. That's great. Oh, I remember, I remember we used to watch they made us watch the news in the morning, and they would talk about the Desert Storm and everything going on. And it was like, and everybody was like, "We don't care about this." Like, we watched it, but we were 17, 18,
Yeah,
living life.
That was about the last thing on our minds right there. Although, I mean, I was in ROTC in high school, so I did get recruited pretty heavily to go into the armed services after that. But I was like, I kept telling them, I just want to be a bass player. And they're like, "Oh, you can play bass in the Army." And I'm like, this sounds like a trap.
Play in the Army band. I got a question for you.
Yeah, buddy.
RO at Red Bank, who'd you like better, Sergeant Major Carr or Sergeant Major Howie?
Carr.
Oh yeah.
I liked
Howie. I liked Howie. He was a good dude. But I had several friends that were older at the time. When I was like a freshman, they were seniors, and so we actually used to go over to Sergeant Major Carr's house. He lived out near Chester Cross Park, and we would go out there, and he'd tell us all kinds of cool stories and stuff like that. Yeah. So I got a new respect for him and a little bit more, I guess, closer relationship with him that way.
Yeah. Oh, Sergeant Major Howie, you say, "Man, you ain't gonna pee in my hand. Tell me it's raining."
He was sassy, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's like one of his favorite lines. That, and I was born at night, but not last night.
Yeah. He was cool. I always dug him. I just didn't know him as well as I did Sergeant Major Carr.
Right.
We had a nickname for Sergeant Major Carr. It was because he was always real rough and mean, and and so he was. We always called him Sergeant Major Sourpuss.
That's pretty accurate too.
Because he had that look on his face, like he was always mad about something.
Yeah, he never really smiled much. I never saw much of his teeth. He's just always kind of looked like he's mad at the world. But I mean, dealing with us, I can't blame him for being so mad.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, though. One of the coolest things about following Eric on his social media pages is somebody is taking some fantastic pictures of you on stage. And
Yeah.
That is the coolest thing ever. Like the lights. I mean, I just can't imagine. I've always wanted to, like, going up on stage and playing where you're loud enough for a stadium full or a arena full of people can hear you play and cheer for you. And do you still get nervous going up on stage?
No, I really I've played so many shows I can't count. I'm not saying I get anxious.
Right.
You know, and none of us in the band, everybody in the band are just fantastic musicians and just professionals through and through. But you know, so nobody gets really nervous, but you're just kind of anxious. You know, it's just kind of like waiting for a race to start. You know, you're just ready to kind of get going. And as soon as you hit those first couple of notes, it's smooth sailing, and we just have a blast. That's one of the things that we've gotten such a great response on this tour. We were kind of curious because this is not our normal crowd. We're a little more old school country, a little more soul. And this is a little bit more on the poppy side. And so we were curious how this whole crowd was going to take us, and they love it. Just because we go out and have a great time. And it's just, I mean, Larry writes just amazing music. Everything we do is our own music except for a couple of covers. And he writes all of the songs. So it's cool just to see people respond to it and appreciate it.
Did you are you one of the recording artists on his albums on the
No,
Larry
I'm
Fleet?
part of I have been. It's just with the label, it's kind of interesting now. The producer on both the records is the world famous Joey Moy, who's about one of the biggest producers in the world. And got a bunch of big acts started, and it's the interesting thing about Nashville is a lot of times they have a touring band and they have a recording band. Now the guys that recorded on the record are the top players in Nashville. Brian Sutton, Derek Wells. If you're a guitar player, I'm sure you guys know those names. That they're two of the biggest in the business. The guy that played bass is Dave Rowe, who played with Jerry Reed back in the 70s and this and that and the other. But Joey explained it to me, and he said, man, it has nothing to do with you guys. All of y'all are awesome. He said, just scares me to death to play with band members. And I was like, well, what's that? He said, well, things just start going sour. I can't just fire you, you know, or if something this and that's happening. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. And unfortunately, it's always been that way in Nashville. But I've done a bunch of recording with Larry that is out there. And we do have plans to do some things in the future that'll have actually the touring band on it.
Sweet. Yeah. You ever do, because I mean, I know I've searched to YouTube a few times, and I know we can see you play live on a few different things, and that's always linked. I gotta know, they call you Crazy Legs. Why do they call you Crazy Legs?
Well, it's turned into kind of a cult status thing now. We played in Oklahoma City last night. I think it was about 14-something thousand people we played in front of it. And they started chanting that. And so the production manager starts pushing me back out on stage. And I don't know, you know, when I get on stage, it's just kind of the spirit just sort of moves me. So I just kind of get in these grooves. And apparently I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even think about it, but I have a bunch of wild moves apparently. Where, I mean, my legs, they said, just going left and right and this and that and the other. And actually, I think the first time somebody ever called me that was Dave Leonard. Do you remember Dave Leonard, Stephen?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
He played with Larry and I for a little bit, and about 4 years ago. I mean, he's out in LA now, but we were playing down in Houston, Texas, and it was kind of a lame crowd. We just weren't having a good time. So I had a couple extra beers in me and just kind of started having my own fun. And Dave kind of coined that term. And I got off stage and people were like, all of a sudden, that was amazing. What did I do? They said, well, you were just out there dancing and going at it. And they said, what do you call that? And Dave said, it's called Crazy Legs. And so Larry said, man, you need to go with that. That's going to be your brand now. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take it.
David Leonard coined that phrase, Crazy Legs.
Yeah, so I have to give him credit.
Wasn't his, he had a relative that was a very famous DJ.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but it was one of those.
He did Disco Duck.
Rick Dees?
Rick Dees. That was his uncle. That is his uncle. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his uncle.
That's pretty awesome. I remember people talking about that, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah,
and
Rick Dees.
I heard Rick Dees. The top, we're doing top 40 now.
I'm full of useless music knowledge.
Me too. Me too.
That is good. Hey, do you get to throw? This is just one of my. Do you get to throw picks to the crowd?
Yeah, I do. Interesting. I'm
Oh
a bass
my
player,
gosh.
obviously, so I use my
Yeah.
fingers. But there is one song that I use a pick on. Actually, we open up the show with it, and so yeah, I'll throw that out. And it's kind of interesting is they gave me a big old bag of picks now, and it's got Larry's logo and stuff on it. And so I just started throwing out a couple, and man, it was like throwing chum in the water. The sharks just came out everywhere.
Yeah.
So now it's like now I've got to do it because they're just screaming at you to throw picks. So yeah, I kind of get my rock star moment, because you always see those pictures of guys, cool looking dudes flicking picks. And so now I'm trying to be one of the cool dudes flicking picks too.
I was always the guy that waited till after the show that scrounged around on the floor near the stage looking for picks that people had missed and dropped and stuff.
I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing. I've got a nice little collection. Actually, I was a roadie for several years, and so I've got some from Eric Clapton and B.B. King and stuff like that. And so, I was collecting them when I was young too. So I was that little nerd in the front row as well.
Hey, so when you're playing, do you do any of the backing vocals?
We do some, yeah. And we've got some great vocalists and stuff too. So singing is not my main forte. I can do it, but I write a lot. So my voice when I'm playing, I play acoustic guitar. Not on stage or anything, but when I'm singing and playing acoustic, it's more of an Americana style. So I do a little bit live, but I'll be honest, it's hard for my brain to do both playing bass and singing at the same time. Apparently playing bass and then playing drums are two hard things to do and sing at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
Yeah, and but especially my bass playing. My bass playing is kind of bouncy. Kind of like Rick Danko, and so I've just not mastered that yet. That's something I'm working on.
Josh is quite the drummer. He's
I tell people I play at it. I don't play drum. I play at them.
Do you sing while you play at them?
Yeah, I sing. I do.
Do you really?
I do all right for bars. I'm not going to cut an album or nothing.
Now, do you find it's tough too, Josh? Do you find it's tough to play drums and sing?
Yeah, and actually now it's harder for me to sing not playing drums.
Really?
So I'm up there like Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands.
So now you got muscle memory going.
Yeah.
So if you're singing, you need to be playing the drums. But if you're just trying to sing, it's like you don't know what to do with your hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we go out to the bar and do karaoke, I'm like a fish out of water, not knowing what to do.
So you're playing air drums while you're singing. I guess,
I'm thinking about it anyway. I try not to do
that's
it.
Cool.
That is just the most awesome things ever. I can't even believe that somebody, and I didn't remember this till you told me, Eric, but you had been over here at the Lynx practice basement facility when in high school and such.
Lynx headquarters.
Man. I did. I'm an OG Lynx fan.
There you go.
Yes.
Obviously we were both great friends with Kevin Mills.
Yes.
And he's the one that brought me over there all the time. I remember we'd go driving around in his little Honda Civic, when you couldn't do anything else, and hanging out of it. Awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great fun. I remember that time fondly. Kevin was the one who always kept me interested in guitar. He kind of turned me on more to the this was back in junior high and stuff, and we would sit around and listen to Metallica's Ride the Lightning, and he's man, don't you get inspired to play when you hear this stuff? And I was like, yeah, I guess I do now. That's pretty awesome.
I love it. He and I are both huge Iron Maiden fans from back in the day. I think that was our common denominator that struck up our friendship in like junior high school, is that we were probably a couple of the only Iron Maiden fans in 7th grade.
Do you still talk to Kevin?
I do. Not as much as I used to. I'll be honest. I have to really kind of credit Kevin with keeping me playing when I wasn't back in music full time is when I was running the business with my father, and music was always still kind of on my mind. Is he and I and Dave Leonard actually every Wednesday night would meet up at Kevin's house, and he had this room downstairs, and we just jam. No vocals, no nothing. It's just 100% improv, and it really kept my chops up, and then really revived my love of playing. And I was like, man, I kind of still got this. I think I could still kind of do this. And so then that's kind of inadvertently what prepped me for doing what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome. The last time I saw Kevin, I was coming out of the courthouse, getting my marriage certificate.
Oh, okay, cool.
I thought it was going to be a cooler story too.
And Kevin was on break there at the insurance place.
Unum.
As outside smoking, and I was like, holy crap, that's Kevin Mills. And he's like, hey man, it was great. I was like, hey, this is going to be my wife. And so he's like, hey, my wife's on Facebook. And so I kind of keep up with him a little bit through there. I don't even know.
He hates social media. He hates it with a passion. I can't say that I blame him sometimes, but it's cool for me just to keep up with everybody. And as a musician, that's kind of how you connect. But yeah, he is pretty much anti social media, but that's why I would always go over to his house every Wednesday night, and he's still one of my closest friends of all time.
Yeah, I need to call him. I need to get in touch with him because he's
a great dude.
Pretty awesome.
He's still the exact same person.
Hey, back in high school, did you play with anybody back in high school?
Yeah, man. As a matter of fact, when I started playing out live when I was 15. And the very first show I ever played was Notre Dame High School Senior Prom with a band called Candlelight Safari.
Candlelight Safari. Oh man, I remember that.
Do you really?
I remember that band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who all was in that band?
We had Jeff Height on vocals.
Yeah.
Who went to Red Bank, and then Greg Nip, fantastic guitar player, who owns Pickers Exchange now.
Right.
On guitars. One of my closest friends of all time, Kyle Walsh. On drums, who's an amazing drummer. He and I went on to, as soon as I got out of high school, I moved with him to Murfreesboro, and we started a band called Janie Gray.
Janie Gray, yeah. I remember that name too, man.
Yeah, that was me. That got really, really popular. Then the guy named Byron Irwin that played keyboards in that band. But then right after that band lasted for about a year and a half, and we started a band called The Shift that had a amazing guitar player called Chris Ware in there, who played with a band called Tonton Maku back in the day. And so that was the first band I started touring with. And literally they would pick me up, I think, after school. They would pick me up after school, and we would leave to go on the road. And there's many times where they actually dropped me off that Monday morning right before class.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I never really told many people about it in school because I don't know, most of my friends, with the exception of like you and, Kevin and Damian Yance and all those guys, that was kind of my close circle. But most of my friends went to Notre Dame.
Man, I hadn't seen him in forever, Damian.
Yeah. I hadn't either.
I loved him.
I did some work for him here, probably 10 years ago, but, that's been about it. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. All these people that you're bringing back to mind, you threw me for a loop when you said Damien. Oh,
he and I tortured several teachers at Red Bank together.
That's been kind of a theme. We had another guy on here that coming up that we're going to release a thing that had tortured some Red Bank teachers. I think he even made him. I think he even made him quit.
Made one quit. Yeah.
Made one of them.
I might have been in one of those classes. It was probably an art class or a drafting class.
I'm not sure if he actually went to high school here or not. I think that might have even been like junior high days when he tortured.
Oh yeah.
Or elementary school. Red Bank Junior High?
Yeah, I went to Red Bank. I was a class of '93, so I was a few years behind. So a bunch of the names I remember, didn't really know too many people,
Yeah.
But I did hang out. Most people I hung out with were older than me. But,
It seems like Eric, I remember. Do you remember playing Riverbend in about 1990.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember we played. That was the one. That was the pinnacle of links.
Oh
Was we played the Conoco stage?
Yeah,
I believe it
I did the
was.
exact same thing. That Candlelight Safari played the Conoco stage.
There we go. And I think you guys were playing after us. And I think I remember you setting up as we were getting off stage and stuff. But I have a vivid memory of you there at that gig for some reason.
With my dangling earrings in and my mullet.
Yes. The mullet. Now the mullet's come full circle. So
yeah, it has. As a matter of fact, ironically enough, yeah, Morgan sports a fine mullet. You know, that's his thing right there.
Well, when you make so much money and you get so much popularity, I think you can get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
But me just walking into Walmart, I'm going to get laughed out of the store. You know,
it's a tougher sale. Yeah, it's a tougher sale unless you're a millionaire.
That's good. It's a tough sale.
It's still socially acceptable around here. I mean,
oh yeah. I don't know that it ever really went out of fashion. You'd always still see some old boy by Suck Creek that had one.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Marion County.
I was thinking more of Rahia County.
Rahia? I got you.
Rahia.
I've never heard that. That's awesome.
We've got we always ask our special guests one question, and it's kind of a silly question, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you or anything, but we always ask, what was your first vehicle?
My first vehicle was a 1968 Bug. Electric blue Bug that I took the back seat out of and loaded it with nothing but speakers. So that thing, it sounded like just a rattling tin can coming down the road. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great car until I ran it to a bridge on Lower Mill Road.
Oh.
With a Chad Monsieur. Any of y'all remember Chad Monsieur?
I remember the name.
I love that car. I love that car.
Yeah, that was, I mean, you know, first cars are always freaking awesome. Mine was just a big old piece of junk, a Chevette. And
I think I remember it.
Yeah, well, after high school, I started getting into painting cars. And so in high school, it was like a purplish brown. And then when I graduated, I painted it bright yellow. I don't know.
All right. Did you have that when you worked at Sonic?
Yes, I did for quite a while.
Then I know I saw it then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought for sure you were going to say you did the Eddie Van Halen Frankenstein paint job on it.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be really cool.
No, that was Joe Scarborough.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
In the Pinto.
Yeah, they chopped the top off of it.
And I rode in that monstrosity. We rode in that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he lived right across the street from me as I was growing up. So I saw him do all that to that car, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
oh that's bad,
yeah." I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Biggest
piece of junk there was. But that paint job was cool, though, man.
Yeah, man.
Everybody loved seeing that thing go down the road. And I can remember going for a ride. Me and Joe and a couple, probably my brother and somebody else, we'll get in the Wayback Machine for this one. We went over to Four Squares to see a movie.
Paid a whole 99 cents to see the movie.
99-cent movie. Yeah, and then
you hit the Ruby Tuesday while you were over there too. Remember the Ruby Tuesday? It used to be right over there.
That's been a while.
That has been a while. Yeah, I always remember that was a big date night. As I'd take a girl to the Ruby Tuesday and the over 99-cent movie at Four Squares.
I remember there was a Japanese restaurant there for a long time.
Oh yeah. What was the name of it? Kampai Tokyo was over there, wasn't it?
Kampai Tokyo, I believe that's right.
Yeah.
You are full of some useless information.
I don't know. I
spent a lot of time over there, man.
Yeah, I moved from Chattanooga right after high school, literally about 6 months after we graduated. I was ready to get out, and so I moved to Nashville. So I missed out on some of the later stuff to come along.
Right.
Well, Eric, I did the one thing I skipped over on here is are you happen to be being a big touring bassist now? Are you are you sponsored by any equipment? Do you have certain basses or amps you have to play? Or I don't say have to. You enjoy playing the best?
Yeah, well, I've got a deal with Paul Reed Smith guitars, if y'all know them.
Yeah, PRS.
Yeah, so I've got a deal with PRS. A lot of the guys in the band have a deal with PRS, and I just picked up a deal with a boutique amp company called DNA Amplification, which is a David Nordschow Amplification, which David was one of the original designers of SWR bass amps and the David Eden bass amps, which Eden's I've played for 25 years. So just became an artist for them just about a month or so ago, and working on a couple other deals right now with Fender and Labella Strings.
Now, what's the process of that? How does one go about getting sponsored or becoming an artist like that?
It's obviously that I think there's a lot of multiple ways you can get into it. If you have a good connection or a good in. One of the things with us is that we've just gotten a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And so that has really helped. And, so obviously, a company wants to kind of tie them with an artist or musicians they think that represents their values, and that uses their products, because there's a lot of guys that get endorsements and never use that stuff. But,
right.
So that's really what helped us. It's just, we've gotten some massive exposure over the past 2 years, and really have gotten in with some really, really good A&R guys that have hooked us up with some fantastic companies.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So when you get up on, this is probably an amateurish question, but do you ever get up on stage and I know they do everything they can, but is your bass ever out of tune?
Well, we've got, as a matter of fact, old Petty John, he gets up there and he tunes them before we go. But I've got a pedal board that I actually run on top of my cabinets. I don't use one that's out on the floor. I actually have it up on top of my head rack. And so I've got a little button. I'll just kind of hit and just kind of look at it and tap it. But I use flat wound bass strings, which are higher tension bass strings. I just love the sound. It feels right for me. And those things, you have to work hard to get it out of tune.
You gotta really beat that thing, don't you?
You really do. You got to make a mistake somehow, big time, to take that sucker out of tune. And so generally, I very rarely ever have any tuning issues. We've got a lot of redundancy factors when we go on and do shows, in case something messes up or an issue like that. And so we're pretty foolproof now. We've got an amazing crew, and our shows just run like clockwork. It's amazing to watch it. I mean, we moved up about 15 levels in the past 4 months, I think.
Oh, what's awesome is I saw that I saw that a third date in Nashville has been added.
Yeah, we're doing.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we get this out before that comes around. So I hope we do. But if we don't, there was a couple shows, and I saw that there was another show added. So that's got to be pretty freaking amazing, getting to play some homegrown shows like that.
Well, it is, and it's also pretty amazing because they're all 3 sold out. There are no tickets.
Oh wow!
Unless you hit a scalper or somebody, some type of vendor that's bought up some. That is the reason that there are 3 shows. That we actually there was only one show that was booked. Same thing happened when we played 2 dates at Madison Square Garden. And the reason that there was 2 dates is because the first one sold out in 10 minutes. So they added another one, and the same thing happened, at Bridgestone. The first one sold out in 10 minutes, so they added a second one, and that one sold out in like 15 minutes, and then the third one sold out really. Third one, they told me, sold out just on the fan club, whatever that means.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So you came here today to tell us you were going to give away a bunch of free tickets to the Nashville show.
Yeah, y'all stand outside and holler at me, and I'll see what I can do for you.
I'm sure that would be awesome.
I want to know when y'all are going to bring the tour to Lake Winnie. When's that stop?
Well, the Carnival tour starts this summer. So
well, that's when you know you've made it. We're going to be with Morgan. I think till about the end of May, maybe early June, and we're doing some stuff with Travis Tritt and John Party and a bunch of other artists like that. But we are going to be starting a headlining theater tour this fall.
Hey.
So if anybody out there wants to come check it out, you will have time to buy tickets and stuff for that, because it won't start till about the middle of September. But we're doing some really, it's just nothing but theater. So we want to do kind of a real intimate, like Tivoli size places.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So do you think I know, how does that work? Will they try to get a place around here? Because I know, I think I read that Mr. Larry Fleet is from around here. Or at least he based out of here, or
he lives here. But he is originally from Dixon County, right outside of Nashville.
Okay.
White Bluff, Tennessee area.
Yeah.
So he's fairly homegrown, but he does live around here. So I would love to play something around here, but we've got an amazing booking agent that handles a lot of really, really big artists. And they're the ones that are in charge of all that, because they try to do routing and then schedule around other artists, and so they want to keep this going where it's a common sense type tour. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Where you're not driving 1,000 miles every day.
Yeah, like if you're coming to Knoxville, to Chattanooga, to Atlanta, or you're not going from Los Angeles to South Carolina back to Los Angeles or whatever.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I said, tell everybody to keep an eye out, and hopefully we will have something close by this fall. Yeah,
I tell you what, if I will put this out there, and I will make a Steve Knott Two Likeable Guy guarantee. If you guys, if Larry Fleet with bass player Eric Crazy Legs Harley-Brown comes to Chattanooga, I will give away a couple tickets to go see you.
I think we can work out something.
Well, I mean, I'll buy them. I don't mind at all. And I'll give them away for.
We can handle something.
Yeah, if we get around here. So I'd really like to. I was going to offer our listeners. I looked and I saw some the other day when I was Googling where I could get a signed CD from Larry Fleet, and I could just order it, but that was limited to the first 50 that were from his website. So I was just going to order one and then give it away as a promotional thing, but I couldn't get it. So I mean, I would be willing. I hate to. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but I would love to get something signed by you to give away to some folks.
Well, I can get something signed by the whole band if you want something.
I would actually like two things: one for me to keep and one to give away.
Dang, Steve, what else you want?
Yeah, get greedy there, buddy.
Man, and
I
tell you what, I do not mind paying for it. I'll pay you whatever you want.
I got you, buddy. For an old friend and for you guys being so awesome, I can definitely do that for you.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, because I've wanted something, especially from the first person that's ever been not only in the Lynx Den, but they've also been at Madison Square Garden playing bass and music. So cool. I mean, it's just like
there's only one person in the world that has done that, right?
That's true.
That's exactly
I never
right.
thought about that. Yep. That's pretty awesome.
Yep. Only one so far.
So probably
young.
That's the first stop on the Lynx reunion tour, right? It's Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yep, that's where we're going. All right. Well, we've had a lot of fun, and I do want to wrap this up, but there's one thing that I wanted to ask you, because you're doing so great, man. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I really, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I mean, I don't remember you ever having anything mean or anything. I always remember you being fun and outgoing and well, maybe not so much outgoing, but happy to, fun to be around. You'd always like there'd be an inside joke when you walk by them and by you in high school or something. There'd be like, I don't remember. But the one thing I would like to know, do you have any advice for young musicians? Do you have any advice for young guys trying to make it big? And for what I've gotten from you, I would say your advice would be stop trying to make it big and just have fun.
Yeah.
But
well, because in my opinion, there is no way to make it big. It just kind of happens or it doesn't. And you can't focus on making it big because you will not make it that way. The most, if you want to be a professional musician in today's times, you need to be as versatile as possible. Play as many kinds of music. I do jazz, I do bluegrass, I do rock and roll, I do R&B, I do country, and one big lesson that me and Larry have told this time and time again to people is you just got to have fun. And if you're having fun and you're putting out good vibes and that kind of stuff, and you're not being a jerk, and you just have fun with the guys in your band, you're going to be successful. But do not try to do it merely to be successful, because it won't work that way. Yeah.
Wise words from a great bass player and super all around cool guy, man. This is the coolest thing ever. I'm like smiling from ear to ear. I can't stop.
I've had a blast. You guys are awesome. It's just cool to talk about old times. I don't have a lot of people I can talk about that stuff to, and you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Well, I hope we can do some more. Hopefully, maybe what we can do is if the tour does come closer to Chattanooga at some point, when either if it's a solo, you guys headlining tour or whatever it may be, maybe we can have you back on and we'll talk it up again and talk about some exploits from the road and all the cool fun stuff you've done and how. This is one good question. This is going to be funny. How do you fight off all the women that want to be with the band and stuff when you're married and you've got a wife to come home to?
Well, the interesting thing is none of us are spring chickens, and I don't think that most of these people out there realize actually how old we are. So we've kind of done that thing. I did that back in my 20s, and I'm not going to say how old I am now, but y'all know. But it's just it's not something that's important to us, and what's important to us is just doing our jobs and having fun and setting the energy for the night. And so it's cool that people want to do that, but really when you get to kind of at the level that we're touring at right now, it's a lockdown situation, man. You can't, it's not like the 70s where you got groupies and stuff running around everywhere. Is that there's 9 million security guards, particularly with Morgan.
Right.
They're very, very tight. So, nobody, it's almost impossible for anybody to get back there, especially too, here recently, we have to do COVID tests every 3 days. So we have to pass tests, and it's basically a COVID bubble. So,
wow.
We don't worry too much about groupies. we just want to sit back on a bus and watch South Park and, have a drink or something.
That's awesome. Man, it's been a pleasure. It's truly been a pleasure. And I will get with you and hopefully get some something to give away, and we'll work that out. And
we'll take care of it.
Man, you're awesome. I hope I didn't put you on the spot with that, but I sure do appreciate it.
No, you didn't put him on the spot. I need some free stuff to give away, dude.
No, I didn't want it to come off like that.
For a couple of Red Bank boys, I can do anything for a couple of Red Bank boys. Don't worry about it.
I'm surprised you said, hey, can I get a Morgan Wallen CD signed by him? Or,
Lord, you wouldn't believe how many people ask us that. That's one thing, that's just... No. We're all friends hanging out. That's just what we don't do. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Eric Harley-Brown signed.
That's what I'm saying. A headshot or something. Signed,
you want me to go get some glamour photos?
Get some glamour.
No, a signed
glamour shots.
A signed CD
with the silky glove, under my chin.
You can't go down to the mall and do that no more.
No, the old days, man.
I'm just saying that a signed piece of stuff by Eric is more valuable
Steve.
to me.
I got you.
It's much more valuable to me than a Morgan Wallen.
Thank you, man.
Bless him
there you
and
go.
stuff. But he doesn't have a influence on my life like you have. And so
thank you, brother.
That's pretty good stuff. Awesome stuff, man. If you talk to Kevin, tell him I said hi.
I will
send my best to your wife for having to deal with the country music star lifestyle.
Oh man,
she's used to it.
Well, that's awesome. And hey, we'll have to get together when you're in town and just hang out with no stuff, and just maybe we can do that next time you're in a couple weeks or something when you've got some time off.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be a fun time. It's a fun time, and I appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys are great. It's very cool to be asked to do something like this. It's very humbling, and it's an honor. So thank you.
Man, we appreciate you.
Yeah, it's all ours. The honor's all on us, man. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Well, Josh, did you have anything to add, sir?
No, man, I think we covered everything on my end. I guess I could sit and talk about technical stuff about the tour all day long, but nobody wants to hear about that. So
yeah, I know.
So we can do that another time. I'd love to do that. I love talking tour stuff.
There we go.
So everybody needs to go out and buy their PRS Paul Reed Smith guitars, basses.
Yeah,
all that, and then the DNA, some DNA amplification.
Yep. It's all handmade. And get you some labella strings while you're at it.
Labella strings, all right. Flat wound.
Got to get the Crazy Legs edition.
It is. They're extra crazy.
Yeah, maybe you can get on there and have the Crazy Legs edition and have a special line of
we're working on
equipment.
We're working on some of that stuff. So I figure this is my last shot, boys. I'm gonna make it.
There you go.
As good as I can.
Man, it's perfect. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're well on your way, man. I'm so proud. Glad I know you. Glad I know who you are, and glad you joined Facebook and we got to catch up. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to the modern world.
Yeah, it happens. But anyway. Thank you very much, sir, and I hope you have a good evening. And I'll be talking to you soon.
All right, boys. Y'all take care. Thanks for having me.
You too, man. Appreciate you again.
See y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. This is Steve from Two Likeable Guys, and it's time for our first ever giveaway contest. What a great prize package we have for you. We have a Larry Fleet Stack of Records CD, a couple of picks that were played by our very special friend and bass player for Larry Fleet, Eric Harley-Brown. A special edition, not for sale, Two Likeable Guys t-shirt, Crazy Legs edition, and the set list autographed by Mr. Larry Fleet, Xander Wyatt, and our friend Crazy Legs, Eric Harley-Brown. To enter, just go to our Facebook page, like the post, tag a friend, and share the page. That's all you got to do. If you do these 4 things, you are entered to win
Crazy Legs Crazy Gift Pack.
The last day to enter is May 31st, and we will be drawing the winner shortly thereafter.
Man, Josh, did you have as much fun as I did talking to him?
Oh yeah, man. That was great talking to him.
Eric, Crazy Legs, Harley-Brown. Dude, he is such a down-to-earth guy. Man, I have fun doing all these, but I really had fun talking to him. He brought back some good memories, some good old Red Bank High School classmates. Check out all our social media pages, and we're going to have some good giveaways going on soon. As soon as I can get in touch with him.
Squeeze it out of him.
Yeah, I had to. For you, I did it for you guys. I made myself look bad for the fans of the show. That's how this works. I do everything for you guys. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Josh, is there anything you'd like to add?
I just appreciate everybody listening, man.
Man, you can find us online, TwoLikeableGuys.com. You can send us some email if you want to at TwoLikeableGuys@gmail.com. You can come to a wedding and dance and tell everybody how much you love Two Likeable Guys.
Who's
having a bunch of
who's wedding?
Having a bunch of. I don't know. I lost it there for a minute. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, no, man, we really like everybody. We like you, and we hope you like us too. We are Two Likeable Guys. I'm Steve. This is the co-host,
Josh,
and we like you, and we hope you like us too. Thanks for listening.
Later.